Only on 610 CHTM.
Hello and welcome to City Beat. I'm Jaret Schneider, and joining me once again this week is Mayor Tim Johnston. Thanks for coming today.
Good morning.
First off, I'll give you a minute to run things down from the past week as well as anything that might be coming up this week.
Well, a few comments in terms of the last week. I understand during last week's show we were just about near the end, and the caller had called in with a question. I'm not specifically sure on what the question was, but I understand the subject was idle no more. And so difficult not knowing what the question was, but I did want to make a couple comments just in terms of what is going on and the interesting times that we are living in as a country. And certainly we've seen the presence here in Thompson with a session held at the provincial building just before Christmas. So a couple quick comments. One is that I certainly agree with the leadership, and one of the benefits of democracy is the opportunity to have a discussion in a respectful, peaceful dialogue. And so I certainly agree with the leadership in terms of Idle No More and ensuring that that discussion takes place within those parameters. I also certainly agree that as Canadians, we are all treaty people. And I say that because it was and is a commitment of the Crown, and the Crown is represented by the federal government. So my hope is that the dialogue can continue in a peaceful, respectful manner, and that we can come together in terms of ensuring that as we move forward as a city, as a province, and as a country, we do that in a respectful manner. So I'm not exactly sure what the question was, but I provide those comments, and I encourage people to listen to the dialogue, to respect the dialogue, and to use it, if possible, as a learning opportunity and as an opportunity to make Canada a better place. In terms of some of the other things I want to raise, one is I was a little disheartened recently when a volunteer with the Trail Breakers advised me that the trails, which have just recently been groomed and are in the process of being groomed right now, have been subject to motorized vehicles, being cars and trucks, driving on the trails, which is causing damage to the trails. And again, I just want to remind people that the trails are provided through Snowman, but really through the efforts of the local Trail Breakers group, the volunteers, and I would ask people to be, again, respectful in the condition of those trails. I was on my machines on the weekend. The trails were in great shape. It's great to be out again, but I'd ask people, please respect the work the volunteers are putting in, and it's a great pastime, so stay off the trails with motorized vehicles not intended for that use. I can also advise that the regular meetings of Council are up and running again with the new year. We met last Monday, and we will continue to meet every second Monday. Of course, all meetings of City Council are open to the public, as are committee meetings. And if people are interested in sitting in, or if they have comments, every meeting provides an opportunity for people to ask questions. And as I've always said, members of Council do this because we believe in our community. We may not always agree on every issue, but we certainly agree that we want to contribute to make Thompson a better place. And one of the things that I think we all appreciate is when the public gets involved, whether that's making a phone call, attending a meeting, or just providing their comments or suggestions. So again, as we head into the new year, I hope that people take an active role. In terms of some of the specific events last week, I was very pleased on Saturday the 5th to extend greetings on behalf of the City of Thompson at the Prince Berkshire Hockey Tournament. And I noted at that time that of all the tournaments that I attend, or all the events that I provide openings at, this is one that really, I think, speaks to the essence of what the game of hockey is all about and what sport at the minor youth level is all about. And the slogan for the tournament is Friends Forever. And so I was very pleased to extend greetings and thank the Prince family, the Berkshire family, and the Landers family for their ongoing commitment to the tournament and their participation. And I was very pleased to hear that the Thompson King Miners won the Landers Cup, and congratulate the players, the parents, as well as I guess I have to congratulate the coach, who I think is Councillor Evenson. So I was pleased to participate during the weekend. And then last night on the 9th, City Council had the opportunity to meet with Parliamentary Secretary Shelley Glover, who was in the City of Thompson doing pre-budget consultations. We had a good opportunity to have a discussion regarding some of the key key issues with respect to Thompson and the federal budget. Certainly high on our list is infrastructure and the infrastructure needs in our community. We've also had the chance to talk about public safety, policing costs, and of course we had the brief discussion, but a very important one, on the role of the federal government in terms of the future for valet operations in our community, and certainly from an environmental perspective. So good opportunity, and I appreciate the federal government, as any member of whether federal or provincial government, taking the time to visit our community, and I understand she met with valet yesterday as well as the Chamber of Commerce, so it's appreciated. Two other quick things this weekend. We've got the Norman Wild with games on, I believe, Saturday and Sunday at the Thompson Regional Community Center. Encourage people to get out and watch some great hockey, as well as reminder, we are into winter, and Winterfest is coming up during the month of February. Encourage any groups that want to participate in hosting any of the events during the month of February to contact the Recreation Department. And of course, really it is the major kickoff will be, I think, February the 1st with the fireworks and the bonfire, which relates again to Christmas trees, and the city continues to offer the Christmas tree pickup program until January 21st, where residents, if they want, they can place their tree at the curbside on their regular garbage day, and the city will pick it up. So that's a bit of an update in terms of some of the events past and upcoming in the next week.
204-677-8181. We have the mayor taking your calls. 204-677-8181. City Council approved the resolution in principle in the use of the 3 outdoor arena facilities to help out the homeless shelter with their numbers on nights of extreme cold, minus 35 degrees or colder. So what will this mean for the city and for the homeless shelter moving forward into the rest of January and February?
Well, we're going to be sitting down, and I believe the first meeting is later on this afternoon, with some of the other organizations during the Public Safety Committee, and talk about how we move forward with the implementation of the extreme cold weather policy. I was very pleased that Council gave its unanimous support to the use of the park buildings. I've said it before. These are buildings that we operate 24/7, but technically we only use probably for roughly 6 hours a day. So they're an asset, and we've been looking for a location to be used during those periods of extreme weather. We anticipate it's probably roughly 30 event days. We have to heat those buildings, so to me it made perfect sense to make them available as a commitment from the city, and work with other organizations to ensure that the other requirements to make the program work are in place. But I'm very pleased that the community is going to come on and ensure that individuals in this community will have a warm place, because when we hit 35 and below, quite frankly, it's a matter of life and death. So I'm pleased that we were able to make this commitment. I look forward to working with other agencies to ensure the program is in place, and this is something that many municipalities offer, so I'm pleased that we've got there as well.
204-677-8181. You mentioned the meeting this afternoon. If the facilities are ready now and everything goes good at the meeting, let's say if it hit minus 35 degrees tonight, would the facilities be ready?
I don't believe they are ready as of yet.
Okay.
First off, we have to ensure that some of the other stakeholders get to the table. We've got to get the policy finalized. I hope that we're going to get that policy back to council as soon as possible. But I'll tell you this: if we get into a stretch of extreme cold weather, then we're going to have to move the schedule a little faster than what is anticipated, because again, it's an extremely important item, and one of the things that we know for certain in Thompson is in the winter you're going to get extreme cold weather, so we have to be ready for it. Okay,
so when everything does move forward and everything is ready to go, let's say it does, how would this affect the city?
Well, it's going to have, in my opinion, minimal impact on the city of Thompson operations. As I say, we heat the buildings are available. I think that we'll have to ensure that we take precautions to make sure the asset of the buildings are protected. I'm absolutely confident that we can do that. And I also want to alleviate, and I understand we've had a few calls, and we'll be working with agencies to ensure that the program is operated as required in a manner that is respectful for the individuals requiring the shelter, but also respectful of the neighborhoods and the buildings themselves. And I'm absolutely confident we can do that. And again, I'm very proud that as a community we've come around to ensuring that we're offering this type of support for individuals in our community.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure City Manager Gary Sepatelli said there would be no more additional staff or anything needed for it. 204-677-8181. You said you met with Shelley Glover. Excuse me. What were some of the things that came up with that as far as infrastructure goes?
Well, some of the specifics in terms of our position is that, of course, Thompson was challenged by the change in census because many of the infrastructure programs are based on per capita grants, so we raised that issue. We also raised the issue in terms of the challenge for smaller municipalities to come up with the 1/3 contribution. We're fortunate, and she was very, I think, impressed with the comments that we provided regarding the Municipal Revenue Act and the fact that we dedicate funds to infrastructure. We also talked about the need for the program to be flexible. We talked about the need to ensure that the upcoming program includes recreation facilities, because that's one of the challenges. So it was a good conversation, and our council has worked very hard so that it's easy when these representatives come to the community, because we're able to present the position that as a council we've come around to. So I think she left with some real specific details on what the needs regarding infrastructure from the city of Thompson are.
204-677-8181. Taking your calls to the mayor, 204-677-8181. There was a public service announcement that came out in the mail a few days ago about sanitary blockages, mostly fats, oils, and grease going down the drain. What is the city doing to clean up these messes? Because I know there was one in the past, and preventing them from happening again, other than this public service announcement.
Well, again, we want to work cooperatively with the public in terms of minimizing the need for the city to get involved, especially in terms of any digs or any water breaks that might occur, blockages. So the best way to do that is to ensure people are aware and informed of what should or shouldn't be put down the drains, and that's part of the public service announcement. We do this on a regular basis throughout the year, but we have found recently that we were getting some blockages that were clearly the results of grease, so we felt it was time to do a reminder again.
Okay, and before we are running out of time, so before we go to our last minute, the NHL's back on the lighter side, starting hopefully on the 19th. Who's your team? Who's winning the cup? And which team do you think will mostly benefit from the shorter season?
Well, hopefully my team and the team that wins the cup are one and the same. That would be the Rangers. It's going to be very interesting. I think whoever gets out of the blocks fast will have the advantage, and not sure. The team that I think that is going to be very interesting is going to be Edmonton, in light of the fact that they had so many of the players playing in the AHL together. And so I would say that's one to watch, but certainly I'm a diehard Ranger fan, although I have to admit that with the Jets back, it's pretty easy to cheer for the Jets as well. Nice to see it back. It certainly will make those cold nights a little bit easier to bear, and look forward to it.
So before we go, I'll give you a minute to wrap things up.
Well, just a couple things in terms of reminders more than anything else to people. And again, encourage people to get out, take advantage of the weather. It's been nice for the last few days. I understand it may turn a little bit colder, but encourage people to get out. I had a chance last weekend. It was great. I was on my snow machine. I ended up going out Mystery Mountain skiing. We have so many great assets, and encourage people. The best way to survive a Thompson winter is to get out, get active, and enjoy it. So encourage people to do that, and as always, I ask them to ensure that they keep safety first and foremost, and enjoy the time. So all the best over the next week.
And that will do it for City Beat this week. Make sure to tune in every Thursday at 11:30 for more insight into your municipal government and a chance to ask questions right to the mayor. I would like to thank Mayor Tim Johnston for coming in today, and to everyone else, have a great rest of your Thursday.
City Beat will be back next Thursday morning at 11.